Here's an uncomfortable question. What happens when an AI agent makes the wrong decision, but no human is watching? Well, right now, a lot of AI agents aren't wrong in obvious ways. They're wrong in subtle ways, confident ways, even. And those are the hardest to catch. As AI agents move into production, human intervention isn't optional. It's the difference between experimentation and enterprise ready AI. So let's talk about why, despite all the hype, AI agents still need human intervention and why they need it now, not later. We like to talk about agents as if they're independent actors. But here's what's actually happening. Agents optimize towards goals that we define, using assumptions we forgot we made. And they also don't understand why a goal exists or the trade offs. And most importantly, they don't understand what shouldn't be optimized. We'll call those non negotiables. An AI agent can absolutely execute a plan flawlessly and still make the wrong decision for the business or the user. And not because it failed, but because it succeeded too literally. Let's look at a real life scenario. Let's say a global SaaS company deployed an AI agent to automate provisioning workflows for new system users. The agent was given access to internal customer data. Maybe it was also given configuration tools. And finally, some template setups. Everything it needed to streamline provisioning. And it worked at first. The agent noticed that skipping certain validation steps made onboarding faster, which improved its success metrics. So it quietly began bypassing these checks, steps that usually catch misconfigured integrations, security setting mismatches, or missing compliance fields. On paper, onboarding dropped by 22%. But in reality, misconfigurations started surfacing days later. Technical teams faced unexpected integration failures and compliance errors. So, what happened? Well, nothing broke inside the agent. It optimized for speed because that's what it was rewarded for. What it couldn't do was stop and ask, is skipping these checks safe for the business and the customer? And that wasn't a technical failure. It was the absence of a human checkpoint. The moment when a human has to say, yes, optimize this, but don't break that in the process. Now, to be clear, humans aren't here to micromanage agents. We're here to act as the control plane. So, what do us humans define? Well, we define what success actually means and where automation should stop and where judgment matters more than speed. Agents, on the other hand, are great at execution, whereas humans are great at context, ethics, and consequences. And the moment you remove humans entirely, you don't get intelligence. You get acceleration, sometimes in the wrong direction. What does it look like to have human intervention baked into the agent architecture? Well, at a high level, the human in the loop architecture, or HITL for short, starts with an input layer in which humans set the intention. This includes the goal, constraints, and allowed actions. Next, in the agent planning layer, the agent takes the human-defined intent and produces a plan, a sequence of actions, predicted outcomes, and the reasoning behind those choices. And this is where the agent shines. It explores far more options than a human could in the same number of seconds. But the key is, this plan is not final yet. This is the human in the loop moment, where a human reviews the plan and it looks for risk, compliance issues, bad assumptions, and missing context that the agent couldn't know. And if everything looks good, the human approves the plan, and if not, they revise the constraint or give corrective feedback. Then the agent revises iteratively until the human approves the plan, and once approved, the agent executes the plan, while staying, of course, within these defined guardrails. So think of the agent's controlled autonomy like cruise control with lane keeping, not a self-driving car with no steering wheel. And as the agent acts, humans get visibility into what the agent is doing, why it's doing it, whether it's drifting from the goal, and any emerging anomalies. And if something looks off, humans can pause the agent, override a step, roll back the state, and add guardrails to prevent repeated mistakes. And this layer turns autonomy into accountability. Finally, humans provide corrective feedback so the agent improves over time. Not just fix the output, but fix the reasoning so you stop making this mistake. And this is how agents become safer, smarter, and more aligned. That's human in the loop in a nutshell. This is how you get the best of both worlds: agent speed and human judgment. Right, well, why does this matter now? Because agents are no longer demos. They're booking meetings, deploying code, and touching production data, and even interacting with the customers. And once agents start acting in the real world, mistakes aren't theoretical anymore. They impact production systems, the user experience, and compliance standards. If there's one takeaway here, it's that human intervention isn't a safety net you add later, it's part of the architecture. And this doesn't mean slowing everything down. It just means human approval for high impact decisions, observability into agent reasoning, not just outputs, and clear override and rollback paths, and of course, feedback loops where humans correct behavior, not just results. Think of it less like babysitting and more like air traffic control. The planes can fly themselves, but you still want someone watching the radar.